Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the Kitaholic Kits using the gorgeous April kits. So they are packed full of the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection and so much other stuff. So I pretty much got it. I filmed an unboxing and dove straight in because I was super excited. And yeah, so I've cut one of this month's exclusive cut files, and it's this gorgeous a trio of roses with some leaves and then some pretty little dangling hearts and things. And I decided that this month's kit and this cut file would be a good time to officially make my first proper wedding layout for an album. So yeah, 8 years on. But that's okay. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing some of the 6x8 papers from the pocket page kit, and I've gone ahead and backed that entire cut file. It really didn't take long. It turned out amazing, in my opinion. It looks gorgeous. So now I'm going to go through the 12 by 12 papers to find something to back it with. I do consider white for about a minute and then think, no, it just doesn't. I want something a little bit darker. I don't want white on white. I don't want it to be too light. So you can see that photo at the top. It's my husband and I on our wedding day, obviously, cutting the cake. I've changed it to black and white purely because my wedding colours were white, silver and purple. And there's not really purple in this month's kit, so I felt like grey would be the best option. But I have other collections that I can definitely and will do print my photos in colour and use them with it, but I just didn't want the photo to kind of be a little bit out of place. Yeah, so what I have chosen is this gorgeous kind of watercolour bluey aqua background for my base, and I want to use the rainbow, which is of course the opposite side of this. So I have annihilated an entire rainbow sheet already by using the B side. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit devastated, but never mind. I wanted something to kind of ground it and add a bit of weight at the top and bottom, so I did choose obviously the rainbow paper, and I've gone with the blue to yellow in that top right hand section and then the pink to yellow in the bottom, and I've just torn the edges to expose that bit of the white core of the paper just for a bit of texture, and then just trimmed off a bit of the rainbow pattern paper and stuck it on the back. There you go. You can see it's a whole sheet of rainbow paper just gone. Never mind, I'm not going to dwell on it. There are plenty of other pretty pattern papers in this kit. Okay, so I did then take it over to my sewing machine and just stitched along those jagged edges with some gold thread, and yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of grab some things to layer behind my photos. I have some of these cut parts. These are from the pocket page kit. I thought that they would be a good option, so I've cut a few of them out, and then there was a page with frames on it. So I've cut one of the frames out, and I'm just going to gut it so that it actually looks like a frame. And I can kind of start working on some layers. I did want to bring in one of these chipboard frames from Corbett Creations, and I thought I've got to bring some gold in onto the page. So I'm going to do a first layer of just white acrylic paint over the whole thing, just one layer, then I'm going to dry, and then I'm going to go and I ended up doing 3 layers of my gold Liquitex acrylic ink just to make sure there was a really solid colour. I did dry it between each layer, and I didn't do super thick layers each time. I just wanted it to kind of go on nice and smoothly, and yeah. So of course I don't make you watch all of that. I do dry it between each layer, and that frame is done. So I'm going to bring in some of that gold Liquitex acrylic ink, and then I'm going to do the same with white. I'm just going to splatter it kind of from that, I guess, sort of a diagonal from that top right to the bottom left, but I want it to kind of peek out from behind where my photo is going to be, and around that cut file as well. Isn't it funny? I just realised I'm putting gold all over this page, and my wedding colours had silver on it. And I'm not a fan, not really, well, not now, I'm not really a fan of silver. I guess I probably was back then, so I don't know how I'm going to incorporate a whole lot of gold, although I guess it's really, the silver is really only on the the guy's ties, and there was silver detail on my dress, so it's probably not an issue. I'm overthinking it. Okay, well, yeah, I can start with some layers. I did have that blue colour part out, but it wouldn't quite fit behind my photo without exposing some of the letters, and I just wanted a solid blue border. So I grabbed one of those frames from one of the cut apart sheets and just backed it with that instead. And now I'm just going to continue going through with some of those cut aparts and layering them up. Now this one there that I've just pulled out was the same pattern as what was on the frame, so I decided to just kind of put that to the side. I will use it for something else, believe me. It is gorgeous, but that frame's going to go in amongst those layers as well. And I'm just kind of layering them and stacking them so that they can kind of extend out and add a whole lot of colour around that photo and form a great base. Because for a title, pretty much, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to, well, where I wanted to have a title. If I put it above the cut file, it's going to look a bit like it's floating. If I put it on the cut file, then I'm covering that gorgeous cut file. So I figured probably down by my photo would be the best option. Now this little wreath I've got here that I'm cutting up and tucking in between those layers, I fussy cut that from one of those cut apart sheets as well. And I've just kind of cut it in half to kind of fit in those layers. And that's just bringing a bit of interest and bringing those flowers out. And kind of, again, reinforcing that diagonal flow down the page. So these are some of the cut apart sheets, and I am going to cut a few of them out. I'm going to cut this blue label out. I wanted a bit more blue down around my photo, so I've got a dark blue one. I'm just going to cut that out, and then I'm going to layer that in my photo. I do apologise, this video was sped up about 4 times. Because this is my first proper wedding layout for an album, I fussed over it to no end. I wanted it to be perfect. I think hopefully as I go on and do a few more, I'm hoping I won't be as fussy, but yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I'll let you know when we're back at about layout 5 maybe. Okay, so I'm just continuing. I've got some clear stickers, a little butterfly. I was going to put it on white cardstock and fussy cut it out, but then I thought, no, it's a dark blue. It would actually really hold its own and look beautiful on that background. So I peeled it off the white cardstock and popped it underneath that cut file. And I peeled off another one as well and tucked it to the top left of that cut file. And they really do hold their own. I don't think that any other colours would look as good on this background, but because it's kind of blue on blue, it was okay. I did cut off some little crosses off one of those clear stickers as well, and I do end up covering them up, so they're kind of wasted under there, but never mind. So here I am kind of thinking about title. I did think about happiness, but it was too big. Again, it consumed that cut file and I took away from it. And then I thought happy days, and then I kind of gave up and thought, well, I like my photo and my cut file where it is. I'm just going to adhere them down first and kind of think about a title a little bit later on. So I'm just combining all those layers together with a bit of A2G tape and glue, and then I'm going to adhere down this entire cut file, which I have backed with adhesive foam too, by the way. I don't know whether I mentioned that, but I usually do. It's kind of a given on my layouts now, isn't it? Okay, so I've just done the trio of flowers. I've adhered them down, and all of those little leaves and stuff I've propped adhesive foam tape, so I'm kind of leaving the backing on them until I'm certain that I want to glue them down. So these ones, they're fine. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to want to add too much more up there, so I'm just removing the backing and adhering them down. The rest I will do shortly. Okay, just cleaning up the glue that's spilt out over top of that, or underneath that chipboard frame. It was on my photo and I didn't want it to ruin it. So I'm going to go through the die cuts. It's taken me a while to get here, isn't it, to the die cuts. I found a little butterfly that I wanted to bring in. I popped that on the cut file, and I'm just kind of auditioning some flowers. I don't want to add a bunch. I want that cut file to stand out. I don't need to overwhelm it with a bunch of other die cuts. I'm sure I will have no trouble using those flowers on other layouts. So I just want to get the balance right for this layout. So I've tried that Happy Times die cut piece. It was just a bit too bulky and cumbersome, so I took it off, and then I came across the word lovely, and that was perfect. It just fit down there, just lovely. So that's going to be my title. I've also tucked in a few of those die cut leaves, just poking out from the side of those cut files, just to add a bit of green up there. And just continuing to kind of sift through, I'm finding little pieces. I've got my happiness or something, my happy, that I've popped a little banner up the top. I'm trialing a few, thinking about adding some little flowers, but I decided not to. Hearts, but the hearts and the die cut pieces I think I was finding too big, so I don't think I end up using many of them. And I do trial this little banner down the bottom left, but I feel like it was adding just too much down there. I needed some more weight up the top, just because that cut file dangles down so much, and it is a lot heavier. You'll be able to see the photo and the cut file go down and reach the bottom of the page more than they do the top, so I wanted more weight up the top, if that makes sense. It does to me. Okay, so I have added some little clear hearts from the clear sticker sheets on some white cardstock, fussy cut them out, so I've dotted them around the page. I did also grab one of those tassels from the die cut pack and just tucked it under there, which I'm going to add some tape to it now, just for a bit of interest. I thought it was cool. I thought they were really pretty, so pop that down. I'm just going to glue those little clear stickers that I've popped on white cardstock down. And I've spotted some dark blue clear hearts, so we're going to pop them around the page as well. And I'll just kind of continue adding all those die cuts and gluing them in place. And now I can remove all the backing off these leaves and berries. So I'm quite happy with them. Those little hearts are done in, or you'll probably see it in the close-ups anyway, the wood grain paper, which I thought was a really nice touch. Adds a little bit of a masculine feel, just slightly, because my husband's in the photo as well. So yeah, a little die cut piece here that I'm going to tuck beside that frame, and then I'm going to add my title. I'm just going to support it with some adhesive foam tape, because it's on top of that dimensional frame. Just tuck that in place. And I've discovered a sticker sheet. There's just so much. So I've pulled off a little pink heart, and this one, I fuss around with this one for quite a while. Yeah, a little blue butterfly down the bottom. I'm going to glue that other butterfly down that I haven't done yet. And a little heart from the cut parts that I've just cut, which I thought was a really nice shape and a nice colour. So I'm just going to tuck that there under my title, and I've removed that lighter pink one and moved it down a little bit. And some of these stickers here, these ones, I don't think that these stickers have been quite cut deep enough, and I didn't want to damage the word stickers. So a tip is, if you've got one of those little sharp craft knives, it's just to go around the edges very lightly, and the stickers will peel off super easily. And that's what I did, and it worked really well. Doesn't take long, but it saves you damaging the stickers, peeling them off. So I'm just going to peel off a couple of them. I've got one underneath the word lovely, and then I've got you and me on this one here, which I'm going to pop up on some foam tape. I did consider putting it up there. Oh no, I do put one up there. I grab another one, I put you and me by the title. I'm all out of sorts. Here we go. Here's the you and me one. So I'm going to pop that one up on foam tape and layer that just on top of that fuzzy cut heart, and that's bringing a nice balance up there with his words. And I just kept going, I couldn't help myself. These are some of the Vicky Bouton, from one of Vicky Bouton's collections, and they had some hearts and stuff on it, and I thought, why not? I'm still in two minds. I put a whole lot of little X's on there. I'm in two minds about whether I should keep them on there. I don't know. They might grow on me. The hearts I really liked, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so after that, that's pretty much it for my layout. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you want to go and check out the shop or the kits, the link is in the description box below. But until next time, bye guys.